especially Marvel films. And with what could possibly be one of the biggest films of recent memory coming out with Avengers Infinity War, let's start where it all began. Well, not really. Iron Man was the first film in the MCU, but still. Avengers Assemble was the first film in the MCU that I saw in cinemas, was the first main superhero team up film, and was the first film that introduced me to all the other MCU wonders like Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America Civil War, and Spider-Man Homecoming. Without further ado, let's go on with the review. Starting with the backlash from cinema goers. Before the film even came out, non-Marvel cinema goers were worried and complaining about the film. It was too ambitious and it would lead to a massive financial flaw. There would need to be too many origin stories. There would need to be so many films prior. There was no way this film would succeed. Ha ha ha, no. I'm generally surprised that people were worrying about this being over-ambitious. What was Star Wars? The lack of origins stories also concerned fans waiting for Justice League. And we all know how that turned out. Terrible. As for the plot, what intrigues me about the MCU is how all films are connected to one another. Avengers Age of Ultron, Thor Ragnarok, and Guardians of the Galaxy set up Infinity War. Iron Man 4 and Captain America First Avengers set up the first Avengers. The film starts different to the three films mentioned, not showing us the main hero, only showing Nick Fury, Hawkeye, Eric Selvig, Phil Coulson, Maria Hill, and after the Tesseract starts vibrating, a little evil bugger called Loki, appearing all smiling and all evil, killing a couple people, mind controlling Selvig and Hawkeye, and then blowing up the Avengers base. Then Nick Fury activates the Avengers Initiative, Black Widow finds Bruce Banner, Coulson visits Tony Stark at Stark Tower, and Fury visits Steve Rogers. Then comes a small, satisfying fight in Stugger, where Loki tries to be all dictatorish, as you do. And then, on the way back to the helicarrier, Loki, for the size, hey, you're not stealing my butter. So, nice little forest battle, which was very enjoyable. Then the Avengers become divided on, basically, what to do with the Tesseract. They're going to make nuclear weapons. And then Hulk transforms, gets angry. Iron Man and Cap need to keep the helicarrier from crashing into things. And Black Widow and Hawkeye have a nice fist fight, which ends up with Black Widow winning. Phil Coulson dies. I'm very disappointed about that. Why did you do that, Marvel? I'll get to that later. All's well that ends well doesn't apply here. Not just yet. And then the battle in New York. A fair amount of screen time for each character and the showcasing the brilliant action Marvel is known for. And unlike each DC Extended Universe film's last half an hour, it works and it's enjoyable. Not lots of CGI thrown in your face. It ends with Loki being shoved onto Stark Tower's floor by Hulk after calling himself a god and Hulk a bully. And I will not be beaten by a bully! Smash. What a puny god Loki was. Iron Man delivers a nice thanks for visiting Earth missile to Charlie Fleet, destroying it in the process, and all in all, ending the film on a higher note. The Battle of New York was one of Marvel's best action scenes, and was a great way to end the first Avengers film. Now we get to talking about what I love. What it does right is simple. As with most Marvel films, this film delivers on two fronts. The action and the fun. Since the MCU launched in 2008 with Iron Man 3, I have enjoyed pretty much all Marvel films, except Iron Man 3, and I guess it counts The Amazing Spider-Man, which I can cover in a later video. The visuals still look amazing nearly 6 years later, and being Marvel's biggest film at the time, it had a very interesting and engaging story to go on with it. Oddly enough, it contains a lot of things that MCU films can all lack. Brilliant plot, fantastic action sequences, and great but not overused humour. Thor Ragnarok, you failed on the humour bit because it felt like a comedy rather than an action film. And the film didn't have a dark and edgy tone like most of the DC Extended Universe films. Round up the fight bit, please. The car chase at the beginning, the Stuttgart fight, the forest battle between Iron Man, Cap, and Thor and Hulk duking it out in the helicarrier, Black Widow trying to outrun the Hulk in one of the most tense scenes in the MCU, and of course the Battle of New York. That was where Avengers Assemble went from a great film to a fantastic film. And of course, it's Marvel. They always deliver with their characters. Combining the main superheroes at the time in Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and giving side characters more time to shine with Black Widow, Hawkeye, Hulk, and McFew, made Avengers Assemble a joy to watch. Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans as Iron Man and Captain America had respectively had some of the best superhero portrayals ever, and it continues in Avengers. Iron Man is a funny yet interesting character, and Cap is a patriotic superhero that gives it his all to protect people. Sure, Captain America could be in a Michael Bay film. The patriotism is why. Thor is still serious at the same time kind of comedy, and don't get me started on the Hulk. That scene where he punches Thor away after they kill a giant space turtle was hilarious. Bruce Banner was an interesting character to plot, and Mark Ruffalo has a good portrayal. I know people were disappointed that Edward Norton wasn't back, but he was a good portrayal, Eddie. Then he turns into a Hulk, and more fun and comedic scenes happen, especially the bit where he slams Loki onto the Stark Tower's floor. That was fantastic. Black Widow and Hawkeye weren't that essential to the plot, but they were still enjoyable, particularly Hawkeye, who was a favourite of mine. Their relationship prior was interesting, both were capable of handling themselves. Nick Fury was given more time and was shown to be more than the guy that shouts orders. Also, that guy who was playing Gallagher on the computer on the helicopter deserved an Oscar nomination for playing video games when you're not meant to do so. Love that scene. As for the villain, Tom Hiddleston is fantastic as Loki. He had a good motive, although he did sound like a dictator when he was in Germany. It was clever and funny and remains one of Marvel's best villains yet, if not the best. Introducing Thanos at the end of the film was such a nice post-credit scene that sets up the rest of the film, particularly Guardians 1 and the other Avengers film, especially Infinity War that comes up soon. However, I don't think the film had too many problems. I do have one concern. I may be not alone in thinking this, but Captain America's suit looked awful. I'm sorry, it just did. It didn't look cool to look at, and so awful. I was also disappointed at Agent Coulson's death. Sure, I didn't see it coming, but he was gaining more screen time, and it was a shame to see him go. But he was brought back in Iron Man 3. Why'd you do that? Conclusion. Avengers Assemble is a great way for new fans to get immersed into the MCU, and while it wasn't the start of the franchise, it was the poster boy for it all. It indicated the future of the franchise in check by grossing $1.5 billion at the worldwide box office. Ka-ching indeed. But most of all, it gave cinema goers a near perfect superhero film experience. As much as I like to say this is my favourite superhero film, it's not. DC win. Dark Knight. Fantastic. I'll cover that later. But this is my favourite Marvel superhero film alongside Captain America Civil War. So it wins that award, at least. It's been 6 years, but Avengers Assemble will never be forgotten. Also, if you want to vote on what film I should review next, download the Amino app and enter the Movies and TV Amino, and find my username, MyMediaNationYT. That's all from me. See you in the next review.